Tuesday is International Women's Day, a day that's been celebrated on March the 8th for more than 100 years now. As well as commemorating the achievements of women, it's a day about bringing to light the slow progress that's been made in narrowing gender inequality across the globe. The World Economic Forum believes it will take until 2133 to close that global pay gap between men and women. Well, in 2015, it was the Nordic countries that did the most to close that gap. And Turkey, Chad and Yemen were among the worst performing countries. Let's get more on this with Ingibjorg Gisladottir. She's the Regional Director for Europe and Central Asia for UN Women. Many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
I was really interested to read that this day has actually been around since the 1900s, and there's no doubt the rights of women have improved since then, but we still hear so much about disparities in the boardroom, in the workplace when it comes to pay. The fact that we're still so far behind in these areas, does it depress you?
Well, no, it doesn't depress me actually. I have seen so much progress since I started working on gender equality 40 years ago. So I'm very optimistic. I see, the changes that can happen, and they can happen very fast, When you have a strong women's movement, NGOs that work on this, and if they have good allies in leading political positions, then we can see a lot of changes and happen very rapidly. So I'm optimistic, and I just see this as challenges to work on.
You say that, but when you look at some of the headlines today, say the cases of rape in India, which have been going up, the rise of Islamic State and their attitudes towards women, do you feel that there's actually been some regression in some parts of the world?
Yes, there has been. I think, we can say there's been aggression in some parts of the world. There's also been some aggression in some part of gender equality. So it is, often it is you take 2 steps forward and then you see there's 1 step backwards. And maybe we are there now, often after we have seen some good strides taking place, then, things tend to go a little bit, slide back again a little bit. And we saw in the last 2 decades, we have seen so much progress that it might be now that we are, seeing a little bit of backslide. And that's something we need to deal with. Okay,
well, let's talk about some of the positive examples. The Nordic countries doing very well. Why are they doing so well?
I think, when you look at the countries, overall, that you can say that countries that have strong democratic foundations and traditions with a solid political environment, with economic stability, social stability, they are doing well. That's what I think overall we can say. Countries that are, democratically backward, countries where you have conflicts, then they are usually at the bottom.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, but really interesting to talk to you. Many thanks for joining us. Ingibjorg Gisladottir joining us from the UN. Many thanks.
Thank you for inviting me.